Okay, starting us off here in the top right-hand position, we do have the Magenta Protoss fighting for NaS. It's seriOsity. And his opponent spawning us off down here in the bottom left-hand position, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting for EF. It's Pinkbrush. seriOsity is from the US of A, Pinkbrush is from Korea, just in case you're wondering. Just while the game starts up, I'm just quickly going through and adding everything back to the overlay, because Dragon was a different race and I wasn't ready for it, but that's cool. The good thing is, with the way my overlay system's set up, it'd be better if I had Rapid here to kind of fill for me while I was doing this, but it's all good. I'll go through the drama in just a second when I've sort of reset the overlay. I'm almost done. It's really nice. Now obviously I'm going to say my own overlay system is nice, but essentially I don't really need to actually do too much to get it all working, which is always good for me, because one of the problems I had early on was I had this really clunky system, which I did a lot of the stuff manually, and that was not good. So I've improved it a lot over the last year, the last 2 years in fact, and there we go, we have everything back in. Now in terms of the drama, essentially there was a miscommunication between the two players. Pinkbrush, well, essentially seriOsity wanted to pre-play his game earlier on in the week, and Pinkbrush wasn't available then, and then seriOsity gets a message that essentially says go game, or are you ready? So seriOsity thought it was for the main game, so they got into the game, they played it, and then Pinkbrush said, well, this was a practice game, go again, right? Because he just assumed that it was a practice game before the actual final game. So I don't know the outcome of the game, so we're still got to find that out, but regardless, Pinkbrush was very, very confused. It took a lot of explaining to both team captains and everything to sort everything out, but essentially the decision was, because it was played on the map and it was between the two players, whatever the outcome of this game is going to stand as the final one. There was no regame or anything. I made that decision pretty early on, essentially just because if you've already played the game, there's no point playing it again. This is the practice pass. And okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'll never play an STPL, but a good way of me dodging never actually playing is the fact that me casting my own matches would be incredibly weird, and also there are so many amazing players in the STPL that I really wouldn't be able to play. Like, I would just immediately lose. Like, even like, there's a lot of players who don't think they're very good, but they come out and they play incredibly well as well for all of their teams, especially on teams like Rev, who have a lot of players of all different skill levels. They do come out, they show really, really good games. They may lose, but it's good, but the difference is if they lose, it's okay, because they don't have to cast it afterwards. Like, I don't know if any of you ever tried to cast your own replays, but I have done in the first iteration of the STPL, and it's not fun. Now, we do have seriOsity going for a very quick Nexus here. Gonna go for a very quick third base as well. Pinkbrush is actually teching up incredibly quickly. Now, there is a way out for the SCV, so it's not stuck at the very least, but get a while before Pinkbrush knows exactly where seriOsity is. And Avi, if you fan the flames again, I will just time you out. I appreciate that you're a sub, but please do not fan the flames with pointless arguments. It's not the place for it. Oh, TT1, yeah, TT1 needs to join the team again. Like, I don't know what he's waiting for. I know he's salty that his opponent got given a walkover and it ruined his perfect record, but I'm sorry, man, that's in the rules. Yeah, I admit that rule could have been a little bit better in Season 1, but yeah, hopefully we'll get TT1 back at some point. The other player I really want to come back is Future and Nyoken. Future, like, he may not have the highest MMR, but he came out and he beat Terra. Like, Future is the king of tournament games, especially in team leagues, and both him and Nyoken, they're wasted waiting in Media. Like, Media isn't coming back. Media's dead, unfortunately. TT1 wants Bonnet to carry him. Now, we do have a dropship coming in for Pinkbrush. Let's see exactly if seriOsity is able to deal with this. Obviously, Seri is playing a little bit greedy, going for 3 Nexuses before really any major tech or anything like that. He does have Observers, so at least he's going to be able to deal with this. Now, the dropship's going to fly over this pizza wedge. Oh, maybe it's a cheese wedge, given it's all orange. But there is the toppings as well. There we go. Speed Vultures dropping in the main. Gonna be able to do a lot of damage, very likely. Oh, the Mind Drag! Getting 2 of the Vultures. That was well worth losing a Dragoon for. Oh, but this Mind Drag, maybe not. No, there we go. He does manage to deal with it. A lot of the probes have been pulled away, but the Vulture's still managing to find a way to get 3 probes. Targeting 4 probes, 5 probes. He's not going to get 6. Only 5 probes when your opponent's already on 2. And 3/4 Nexuses, that's not enough damage with a drop, especially if you're just on 1 base. Now, second command center's coming up here for Pinkbrush. Very, very late, opting to go for that 1 base drop that didn't really do too much. Now, oh, he's not even going to be able to get that Observer. Luckily enough, Seri didn't lose his first Observer to a turret. We've seen that far too often recently. Oh, he still does lose the Observer to the turret. Well, we live to please. Everyone loves watching Observers die, so... Okay, we've got Double Gateway coming in. We've got Stargate coming up in the back right. I think Seri is going to go into carriers here. Now, genuinely, I know it's not going to happen, but part of me really wants seriOsity to go for scouts here. Like, it's going to be very difficult to die, so if you can go Fleet Beacon and get scout speed, you're on 3 bases, 3 full gases. That would be incredible. I want to see that. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I am the Observer. That's kind of worrying, but luckily enough I'm on the ground, so turrets can't hit me. Now if it was cannons, that'd be different, but luckily enough I don't need to worry about that. Now, I'm sure this is just going to be for an Arbiter Tribunal. I don't think he's going to go carriers, but I mean, this is a carrier map, fair and square. Like, this is so good. Now, we do have Pinkbrush with the scan. Does not see the oh, it is going to be Fleet Beacon. Please be a scout. Build a scout, Seri. You know you want to. We need scouts. Scouts on Neo Arkanoid. Let's make it happen. Okay, in terms of what Pinkbrush is doing back at home, continuing to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. Going into a 3rd base finally, but definitely far behind here in this PvT. Okay, it is just going to be carriers. I mean, scouts would be cooler, but... yeah, this is essentially a semi-island map. So you have the temples there, you have the power generators as well, and you have to go through. Now, there is triple dropship coming in here for Pinkbrush. This is going to do a lot of damage. seriOsity doesn't actually have that many units going for so many Stargates so early on. He may lose his 3rd base here. This is the kind of move that Pinkbrush needs to get back in the game. The Vulture's getting a couple of probes there on the retreat. A lot of mines being placed down here, and the Vulture's going to continue to entrench these tanks. This, well, at least this Nexus should go down. But look at this, Seri coming in with a Dragoon and 2 Zealots at the back. Nice unsiege, but oh, that could have been a big mine drag. Oh, nice micro from Pinkbrush here. Gonna save all but 1 of his tanks. Looks like the 3rd dropship must have gone down. A little bit unfortunate losing that tank, but not losing everything else. And he, of course, did stop the mining at the 3rd base and nearly killed this Nexus. It's in nuke HP. We're not gonna see nukes. I wish we did, but unfortunately... underground turrets in StarCraft 3. Well, if that happens, I mean, technically they already exist in the Brood War campaign. There's those pop-up turrets that hide in the floor and the walls. They could probably take me out, but We'll call them something else so I don't have to worry about them. But 4 dropships now coming in. He's going to head up to the second base this time to see if he can do some damage. Seri already on the move with some of his units. He didn't see the dropships coming out. His observers are very defensively placed, but not in the best positions actually. So losing those observers early on definitely causing him some problems, as once again this dropship gonna come in. He's gonna be doing a ton of damage once again, but look at this already. The dragoons moving in to intercept the vultures and the mines. And once again, I don't think he's going to do any damage. I mean, he's killed a good number of probes now, so that's something. But it's about the carrier count that's going to be building up behind this that's going to cause the problem now. Looks like the dropships have abandoned the units for now, so that's annoying. But we have 2 Stargate carriers coming in. The first 2 carriers finally out on the field. They have not been scanned. In fact, now they have a perfect scan in the top right location as the carriers spawned. Gonna give Pinkbrush the go-ahead, but look at this, he doesn't have a third base just yet. His economy is not doing very well. He's thrown a ton of units away on drops and not killed any bases. Seri is still up in probes, he's up in supply. Does Pinkbrush have a chance here? Now, looks like Seri's gonna take the top left-hand base. This is a very good choice, spreading some units out over here just in case you get mass dropped and you lose all your units while the carriers are out across the map. It is a contingency plan. He can also expand to this top left base. And look at this, 5 dropships coming in. The 2 carriers are done now. They should be getting close to full interceptors. The interceptor upgrade should be done as well. But let's see if the units dropping off in the pizza wedge can do something here. This is definitely a better place to drop. Maybe if it had dropped here earlier on, he would have been in a better spot. But look at this, Goliath and a single tank. Not too bad here. Additional Goliaths dropping as well. Going to be very difficult for the carriers to engage this. But the trouble is the tank has no vision. And it's not quite in range of the Nexus. So this is very, very unfortunate. There is a Dragoon that's going to kill the tank as well. So these units are once again going to be marooned. Now finally we have the Goliaths coming in. They're not going to be able to target the tanks though, or the carriers even. They don't have Charon boosters just yet. They are going to trade pretty well with some interceptors for the time being. He gets an observer. But these are very important units. He can't really afford to be losing these. And without Charon boosters, he can't do anything about the carriers. He is getting some hull damage on one of them though, but not nearly enough. The shuttle comes in. The shuttle's going to be targeted down. There's a little bit of a win here for Pinkbrush, but unfortunately, he's unable to get these carriers. And the carriers building up and up and up are going to be causing more and more problems. No 6th carrier on the way, though. He's going to stop at 5 for the time being. And those carriers are going to be able to go in and do some damage. Now, look at this. He's gone back to try and get another drop here. See if he can get back in. And let's see if this drop is going to make something happen. He doesn't have that many factories. He's only got 5 at the moment. His 3rd gas is only just now starting to mine. And is he going to be able to find any damage? seriOsity is expanding to the top left, and he's about to expand to the bottom right as well. And I just don't think Pinkbrush has enough units here. Every time he drops, he's losing more. There is another carrier coming in, but for some reason this is not synced up for seriOsity, so his carrier count not increasing as much as it could do. He is of course up to 5. He's got the interceptor upgrade. No damage upgrade though on these interceptors as far as I'm aware. Maybe we'll see an interceptor pop out in a second, we can check, but Pinkbrush scanning ahead, realizing he cannot do any damage over there, is going to fall back now. Has he scanned the bottom right? I guess he did do, yeah he did. So he's getting ready to go and take out one of the additional bases. The carriers are going in the opposite direction. So luckily enough, for seriOsity at least, there's no Nexus. Yeah, here we go, the Nexus is coming in. Unfortunate timing, he built a cannon. Why bother building a cannon here? It's just going to die. There we go. That's like, that was interesting, but the probe is going to go down, so that's going to be one denied expansion at least. But the real story is these carriers. How does Pinkbrush deal with them? He's got all of his units out in the middle of the map in these dropships, And if these carriers catch the dropships with all the Goliaths in, that's game over for sure. Now, it looks like Pinkbrush is maybe going to try and carpet bomb on the carriers. It's not a bad decision. Oh, but here we go. One of the dropships getting very low with 3 Goliaths in. Goes down. Nice target firing by seriOsity. And he gets one of the turrets as well. There's a ton of turrets coming up here. But is there really enough? The dropships going to go around to the top left while the carriers are preoccupied down here. And we'll see if he can take out the 4th of seriOsity. Now, the carriers do manage to take out a ton of turrets, but not really much else. And here is a big drop in the top left. There is some DTs over here, though. Those defensive DTs, always a good choice. If they get this tank, this base is not going to die. He doesn't know about the DT just yet. He's unsure. I guess it's kind of hard to tell when you're trying to deal with carriers at the same time. But a good defense here by seriOsity. Going to continue to add more and more cannons. The DT still doing more and more damage. And the dropships are actually... Oh my god, he's got 4 Goliaths in here. He forgot to drop. Oh no, and they're going to fly straight into the carriers. The carriers looping in from the other direction. He needs to turn the dropships around. If they fly in and die, he's got no mobility on the middle of the map anymore. And here we go. Oh, the dropship with the 3 Goliaths goes down. The 4 Goliaths even goes down. The armory is over here. +2 attack is not yet finished. If he can cancel this, it's so close. Can he get the +2 attack? He's about to kill it before it finishes. One more tick is all that remains. Oh, he finishes it. He just about gets it in time. And the carriers do not stop. +2 attack coming in. That would have been a massive moment. But the trouble is, does Pinkbrush have enough? He's still got a ton of units. His dropship count has been low. Okay, we have another dropship full of Goliaths going in here to the top left. There's actually a Templar up here with Storm now, and a ton of cannons coming in. More and more dropships trying to just ferry across. He needs to try and do some damage, because if Seri grows to a 4th base, this game is going to become unwinnable. Now, there's only... Okay, so there is up to 8 carriers now. 8 carriers, a massive number. Does he have any +1? He's got 2-1 on his air, or +2 attack and shields, so that 2 attack was very important. But Pinkbrush is going to lose this expansion. Now, he's going to kill the top left, but not without taking heavy losses. There's 2 DTs here again. Is he going to scan? He's so preoccupied with the carriers. I don't think he is. If he could scan these... There we go. He scans. But is it going to be enough? The carriers going to be forced to come up here. The dropships going to go down again. But the mining has been stopped in the top left again. Okay, well, the carriers once again going to be falling back. You know what? I'm just going to keep an eye on these. Still 8 carriers. The Goliaths are going to be cleaned up in the top left now. I don't know why I unclicked those. It's very important to keep clicked on these so we know how much health they're on. But looks like everything's okay for now. And now we finally have Pinkbrush deciding he needs to go. So he's going to push through the middle of the map, see if he can catch the carriers trying to go through the middle. Unlike the rest of the map, if we have a look at the middle here, it is very wide open. Seri has actually traveled through there a good number of times, but unfortunately for Pinkbrush, all of his units are going to the middle of the map and the carriers are coming back to his natural. I don't know if that was his only armory, but if it was, that could be pretty good. Pinkbrush doing a very... Oh my god, he's going to catch the carriers. He's going to scan ahead. Oh, Seri getting very good knowledge there, knowing the scan coming down, thinking there could be units there. Going to pull his carriers back and give himself a big advantage. Now, +3 attack is coming on the way for carriers. It's not very often you get to see that. Games usually end by this point, but Pinkbrush is a very valiant Terran player here, trying to hold on. And if he can stop Seri expanding again, he's still in with a shot in this game. Now the carriers actually getting caught off guard. Doesn't get much hull damage on any of the carriers though, but the interceptor's not all out, so they're going to go down one by one. Looks like we're going to have some turrets placed up here as well. That'll help with any DTs as well as put some additional damage down on the carriers. And this is really all the economy that seriOsity has now. His main is mined out, his natural is mined out, his 3rd base is about halfway done. But the main and natural is obviously the major thing now. Seri actually using the building that Pinkbrush is trying to get all his interceptors out. Gonna help him a little bit, but look at the amount of Goliaths that are here. I mean, yes, this is a ton of carriers, but Seri isn't trading super efficiently here. Let's see if he can hold on against this onslaught. There is a big gateway army going down to the bottom left, though, intercepting any reinforcements. He's trying to just rally up here because he needs to deal with this. I think the carriers, I mean, they're doing a really good job taking down Goliath by Goliath. And obviously, with no reinforcements coming in, this army is likely going to go down. Now, there is some storm up here, which are going to make this even better. The Goliath's actually getting caught off guard. This is one of the problems with Goliaths. They run around a lot like crabs, kind of like dragoons do, when they get confused by the pathing. But look at this. He is going to be able to scan, trying to get some damage down on the carrier's hull. But seriOsity, with too many carriers, too much power, a missed storm there. But I mean, the trouble is all these tanks are going to go down, and he's going to try and bring his Goliaths up. But look at this gateway army in the middle. There's actually a ton of storm here as well. And I think seriOsity may have done enough to win this game. We actually have a storm on the Goliaths back up here. The tanks are being taken down by the carriers up in the top left. And with the Goliaths on their own, they're not going to be able to do anything. He needs the tanks to defend against storm. And he is also starting to mine out. His main is mining out his natural. Obviously, he took it a lot later. But seriOsity is mining off of 3 bases to his 2. And it looks like he's trying to fly a CC over here to the bottom right. But the Zealot's defending against that. And the carrier is going to come in here to the natural expansion. It's almost mined out. The armory's back up here again. +3 attack was never finished. And these carriers, I mean, the interceptors now have 3-2-1 on their upgrades. He built another cybernetics core to get air upgrades. It's so hard to click an interceptor. There we go. And this is all that Pinkbrush has left. I think this is going to be game. seriOsity with an incredibly well-played PvT here. Just absolutely dominating with his carrier usage. Really, really well done. Pinkbrush unable to really ever get any damage down on top of the actual carrier's hull damage. And he's not lost a single carrier this game, I don't think. At least I don't remember a carrier going down. Just overall really well done. Oh my god, is he going to lose a carrier at the last second? No, he's not. Pinkbrush taps out. GG! seriOsity wins game number 1.